now where the Sa'ah is qariba. We're close to Yawm al-Qiyamah, and the Dajjal is coming out soon because of the many kadhabeen that are out there. So it's our job to let you know who you're learning from. So just a little bit about the seerah of the Sheikh, and there's a lot that he has accomplished. I'm not here to tell you everything that he did, but like I said, from the bab of the statement of the great Imam Muhammad ibn Sirin, Inna hadha al-ilm deen, this religion, the knowledge is your deen. So you have to know the people who we're taking knowledge from. So just a little bit from the Sheikh, many of us don't know about him. He's originally from Iraq, he was born, he was raised there, he went to school. He went to a university that's called Al-Mustansariya, and he got his bachelor's degree from that place in Arabic language. After he finished his bachelor's degree, he traveled through the Muslim world. He's been to Sudan and met up with some of the people of Sudan. He's been to Yemen, where obviously he made the Imam, the Mujahid, Sheikh Muqbil, who many of us know, we know about his position in the Dawah. He also has been to Saudi Arabia, where he met many of the ulama and their durus, who many of us have also sat with. But there's one sheikh I want to mention in particular, who's from the ulama, the shuyukh of the Sheikh Abdul-Haq. And that is the scholar who we met in Al-Madini. He died in 2012. His name is Hamdi Abdul Majid Al-Sarifi, rahmatullahi alayhi. Wallahi billahi tallahi. If the Sheikh Abdul-Haq only came to tell us about what he benefited from the Sheikh Hamdi Abdul Majid Al-Sarifi, it would have been enough for us in the way of fa'idah. He was a tremendous scholar of al-hadith. If the Sheikh only came here to tell us about some of the khidmah of the Sheikh Hamdi Abdul Majid Al-Sarifi, and him coming from Sham, and what he did for the khidmah, the tahqiq of the books, like the masanid of Islam, it would have been enough for us. So a lot could be mentioned, but we're going to give him the opportunity to talk now, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Keep it in mind that we are pleased to have him here, and without any further ado, we ask him to yatafaddal mashkooran lahu. Tafaddal ya Sheikh. The name of the lecture is The Middle Way, الوسطية. طريقك إلى الجنة. It's your way, is the path to الجنة.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وسلم. اللهم ربنا اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا مباركا معصوما. اللهم ربنا بسط علينا من بركاتك ورحمتك وفضلك ورزقك. أحبتي الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
The Sheikh began first by saying some of and part of the khutbatul hajj of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and then he made a dua and sent salutations upon the Nabi of Islam sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and then he made dua to Allah azza wa jal that our coming together is one of blessings, and when we separate, it will be one in which we are ma'soom, divinely protected. And he also made dua to everybody, for everybody, that Allah blesses us with barakah, and he also gives us rahmah, and Allah Ta'ala increases everyone in his rizq.
أحبتي الكرام، جئت إلى هذه البلدة منذ 5 أيام 6 أيام، وألقيت إلى الآن 5 محاضرات في المساجد الكردية، وهذه المحاضرة السادسة بين حضراتكم، وفرحي معكم أشد وأكبر بكثير. لماذا؟ لأن كما قال تعالى إنما المؤمنون إخوة. وجودي معكم وبينكم خادما لكم، مذكرا بنفسي وإياكم ببعض الحق إن شاء الله تعالى، هذا يفرحني كثيرا.
The Sheikh went on to say, Ikhwani, that he has arrived to this country since 5 days, 6 days. He's been in this country for 5 days, 6 days. And up until this point, he has delivered 5 محاضرة, 5 lectures. And all of those lectures that he gave previously, they were into the Kurdish community. But this is lecture number 6 for him, and he's giving this lecture to you people. He said, this lecture makes me more happy than the previous ones. And that is why. He asked the question, and then he answered. He said, because of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the Quran, he said, verily the believers are brothers. He said, so I'm here as your khadim. I'm here to serve you. And I remind myself, I'm here to remind myself, and I'm here to remind you of some of the haqq.
عنوان محاضرة الوسطية طريقك إلى الجنة. لا شك أن الإنسان المسلم في حياته يجد سبلا كثيرة ويرى دعاة كثيرين، وكل يدعي وصلا بليلة. ذاك يدعوك إلى عبادة الأشخاص، وآخر يدعوك إلى البدع والخرافات، وثالث يدعوك إلى التحزب والتفرق، ورابع يدعوك إلى التشدد والتمزق. فأي سبيل من تلك السبل نختار؟
The Sheikh, he went on to say, Ikhwani, that today's lecture, the عنوان of the lecture is the middle path. It is your way to paradise. He said, no doubt, there's no doubt that the Muslim during his life, he sees that there are a lot of subul, a lot of sabils, subul, different paths. And in those different paths are people who are given da'wah, they're calling to it. And then he said the line of poetry that everyone is calling to what they want. Like the poet said, everyone says that Layla belongs to them. Everyone says the truth is with them. He said, so you have this one over here who's calling the people to worship the ashkhas, personalities. We have another person calling people to innovation and khurafat. We have a third person calling people to a tahazzub, coming together. And what happens as a result of that, a tafarruq, going to be divided. He said, and then you have that fourth person, and his da'wah is to a tashaddud. He's rough and tough. The Sheikh says, so which one of these subul is the right way?
السبيل الحق الذي علينا اختياره بأمر من الله جل وعلا هو سبيل المؤمنين الذي إمامهم هو المصطفى عليه الصلاة والسلام، كما قال جل وعلا اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. ومن هم المنعم عليهم؟ أولئك ومن يطع الله ورسوله فأولئك مع الذين أنعم الله عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين.
The Shaykh, he went on to say, next after that the sabil that's right, the sabil al-haq that we have to follow is the one that Allah has chosen for us, and the one that Allah has commanded us with. And that sabil is the sabilul minin, the path of the believers. The one who this path of the believers is Imam, is al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As Allah said in the Quran, guide us to the sirat al-mustaqim, the sirat of those people that you have given your ni'mah to, and amta alayhim. The Shaykh went on to say, who are the people that Allah gave His ni'mah to them? He explained in another ayah, when Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, and whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger, then those are the ones who Allah has given the ni'mah to them. From the prophets, from the siddiqeen, the people siddiqeen, and from the shuhada, and from the salihin. And what a ni'mah group of brotherhoods that is.
في هذه الآية يا إخوة التي نقرأها في كل ركعة في صلواتنا، إذا تأملناها ولاحظناها نجد أن الصراط المستقيم وسط بين صراط المغضوب عليهم وبين صراط الضالين. المغضوب عليهم من هم؟ والضالون من هم؟ الفرقة الأولى هم الذين عندهم علم ولا يعملون به وهم الظلمة، والفرقة الثانية هم الذين عندهم عمل وليس عندهم علم وإنما بنوا أعمالهم على جهل وبدع.
He went on to say, Sallamullah min kulli su'un makruh, that the ayat that we were just mentioning concerning this issue of what we're dealing with, if we were to concentrate on it and have a ta'ammul concerning this ayat, we're going to find that Allah Ta'ala described and mentioned the Sirat al-Mustaqim, and that Sirat al-Mustaqim is in the middle, and it's in the middle of two extremes. It's in the middle of a group of people who Allah is angry with, and on the other end, people who are astray. He says, so who are they? Who are the ones that Allah is angry with, and who are those Allah is astray with? Those who are astray. He said, as for the first group, those people who Allah is maghdubi alayhim, Allah is angry with them, they're the people who have knowledge, but they don't work with that knowledge. So they're zalam, the oppressors. They know what they know, but they don't work by what they know. The other group, those people are darling, they're straight. The Sheikh said, who are those? He said, those are people who do actions and they don't have any knowledge. They do action without any knowledge. They work based upon ignorance and innovation.
إذن عرفنا بارك الله فيكم أن الصراط المستقيم وسط بين طرفي النقيض، بين الإفراط والتفريط، بين الغلو والتقصير. وهنا لابد أن نعرف ما هي المجالات التي يجب على المسلم أن يكون وسطا فيها، كما قال الله جل وعلا وكذلك جعلناكم أمة وسطا. أمة وسطا في ماذا؟ في أي مجال، في أي باب نكون وسطا بين الأمم وبين الناس وبين الفرق وبين الأفكار والمذاهب، نكون وسطا في ماذا؟ هذا ما نريد أن نبينه بإذن الله تعالى.
The Sheikh says, so now we have seen from what passed previously that the Sirat al-Mustaqim is in the middle of the two extremes. It's in the middle of al-ifrat and al-tafreed. People go too far overboard and people don't do enough. It's in the middle of people who have a ghulu, they're extreme. And those people have taqsir, they also fall short of the mark. He says, so now it becomes our obligation that we have to know the majalat. What are the situations that you have to be in the middle in? You have to know that, you have to understand that. It becomes an obligation to that. This is a responsibility of the Muslim. So what do we have to be in the middle concerning it? The Shaykh went on to say, Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, for that reason we made you an ummah that is wasata, so that you can be shuhada over the people, and the Nabi is a shaheed over you. The Shaykh went on to say, so what is meant by that, and what is intended? What is intended? What is the majab? What, when, and what do we have to be in the middle concerning it? He said, the nations. This is an ummah. Our ummah is middle. But there are other nations. There are other ummah. There are other ummahs. Got to be in the middle. He also said just the people in general, the nas, people. He went on to say as well that there are afkar. People have different ideas. Some to the stream, this way and that way. He says these are the issues that we're here to discuss and to explain to you today.
أولا في مجال العقيدة والإيمان. أهل الإسلام وسط بين ماذا وماذا؟ وسط بين الملحدين الذين لا يؤمنون بوجود إله، كما كان الماركسيون يقولون لا إله والحياة مادة. هؤلاء لا يؤمنون بوجود إله أصلا. وبين المشركين الذين اعتقدوا في الشجر والحجر والقبر والوثن إلها. بعضهم أنكر إلها وهم الملحدون، والمشركون آمنوا بآلهة عدة. أما أهل الإسلام يؤمنون بإله واحد قل هو الله أحد وهو خالق الأرض والسماء وهو رب العالمين وهو المتصف بالصفات العلى والأسماء الحسنى الذي يستحق الألوهية والعبادة.
Sheikh says, so the first thing that we want to mention, the situations we have to be in the middle of, is the first important one, and that is you have to be in the middle as it relates to your aqidah and as it relates to your iman, to believe in. He said that the people of Islam, Ahlul Islam, in terms of aqidah and iman, we're in the middle. In the middle of what? He said on one extreme you have the mulhidun, the people who are heretical, crazy thoughts. They're just crazy. The mulhid. Those people who have no iman. They have no faith and no belief. So they're one extreme. The people who have ilhad are like the Marxists. He gave an example. The Marxists are people who say that there's no God. We're just living life like this, absent and void of any God, any creator. He said, so that's one extreme. He said the other extreme are the mushrikeen, the polytheists. Those people worship trees, they worship rocks, they worship graves, and they make many gods to be worshipped along with Allah. So one group, they make the inkar of the wujud of Allah, those mulhidun, and then the mushrikeen are the ones who increase and they worship everything. He said that the people of Islam are the people in the middle. We're the people who believe in Allah Ta'ala alone. As he said in the Quran, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Allah is only one. He is the one who is the Khaliq, the one who created everything. And he is the one who deserves the rubudiyyah, the servitude from us. So this is the first issue of the Wasatiyah.
نعم، أنت الآن تنظر إلى نفسك كمسلم. هل إيمانك بالله الواحد الأحد موافق للعقل السليم والعلم الصحيح أم يخالف ويناقض؟ الذي ينكر وجود إله حق لا شك أنه مكابر وأنه يخالف العقل والنقل والواقع، لأن الله جل وعلا موجود لا ينكره إلا متجاهل إلا ظالم. وكذلك الذي يدعي أن غير الله سواء كانوا أنبياء أو الأولياء أو الملائكة أو الأشجار أو الأحجار يستحقون أن يعبدوا، هؤلاء كذلك خالفوا الصواب ووقعوا في الشرك الأكبر وخالفوا العقل السليم وكذلك العلم الصحيح. أما أنت يا مسلم عقيدتك التوحيدية مبنية على العقل السليم. العقل السليم يقتضي هذا وكذلك يوافق العلم الصحيح. بارك الله فيكم.
He went on to mention that you, people who are sitting here, you're Muslims and you have faith. So your belief in Allah Azza wa Jal, your Iman Billah, you have to ask yourself this question, the Shaykh said. You have to ask yourself the question, is that the Iman that you have, the way that you believe, is it consistent? Does it have the muwafaqa? Is it in unity with the aql, that is salim, good intellect? The way you believe in Allah, is it consistent and does it harmonize with knowledge that is real and true, ilm sahih? He went on to say that no doubt that the one who denies the existence of Allah Azza wa Jalla, he described that individual as being mukabir. He's arrogant, the one who denies the presence of Allah. And his action of denying the presence of Allah, it goes against When you go down, you see yourself as being real humble and humility to Allah. But they do that at the expense of the dunya. The Sheikh said the people of Islam, they combine the dunya and they combine the akhirah. They don't only focus on this one and leave that one, they combine and bring them together. And that's indicative of the dua in the ayah, where we say, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Give us the good in the dunya and the good in the akhirah. So if not that extreme, not that extreme. Another ayah of the Quran is when Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, and seek for yourself the hereafter. And also, don't forget your portion of the dunya. Don't forget your portion of the dunya. وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ. Don't forget your portion of the dunya. The Sheikh showed those two ayahs to prove the Muslim is on his worship and he's also not forgetting the dunya.
المجال الثالث بارك الله فيكم في مجال المعاملات. في مجال العقائد ذكرناها باختصار، ثم في مجال العبادات المجال الثالث وسطية أهل الإسلام وأهل السنة في مجال المعاملات. طيب، المعاملة مع من والتعامل مع من؟ أهل الإسلام والسنة وسط في مجال المعاملات مع العلماء ومع الحكام ومع المصيب والمخطئ، بين أهل الإفراط وبين أهل التفريط.
Come to the third issue, and that is that the people of Islam, or the third issue that we're dealing with, is what is called the mu'amalat. And that means the way we deal with people, the way we deal with other people who are in society with us. The Sheikh said, dealing with who? Mu'amalat with who? Dealing with who? The people of the Sunnah of Islam are in the middle in the way they deal with who? He said, give you some examples. One of them is that they're in the middle as it relates to the ulama. And they're in the middle as it relates to the way they deal with the ulama. And they're in the middle in the way that they deal with the hukam, the leaders of the Muslims. And they're in the middle as it relates to the one who is musib. There's an issue, someone got it right. They deal with him in the middle. And then someone else, he's a mukhti, he got it wrong. The people of Islam deal with the one who made a mistake, and they're in the middle with him as well.
في تعامل أهل السنة الوسطية مع أهل العلم، الوسطية تقتضي أن نحترم ونجل علماءنا ونحبهم وندافع عنهم بحق، ولكن بدون إفراط ولا تفريط، بدون غلو ولا تقصير. لا نتعصب لعالم ولا نوالي ولا نعادي على اجتهاد عالم، بينما نجد أناسا آخرين ولاؤهم وبراؤهم على قول عالم، على اجتهاد عالم القابل للخطأ والصواب. وفي المقابل أيضا هناك من يتساهل وهناك من يقلل الأدب مع أهل العلم، فلا هذا ولا ذاك، لا الغلو في أهل العلم ولا التقصير في حقهم، نحبهم ونحترمهم ونأخذ صوابهم ونعتذر لخطئهم، ولكن لا نقلدهم.
The Sheikh Ikhwani said another example of this is like when we're dealing with the people of Islam, as he mentioned, with the people of knowledge. He said, so the position is that we have respect for them, we reverence them, we defend them with the truth, he said. We make difa'in with the truth. We don't have ifrat or tafreet. You don't go overboard and you don't do too less. You don't have ghulu and you're extreme, nor do you have taqsir, where you're not doing enough. He said, as it relates to scholars and people with knowledge, we don't have al-wala wal-bara based upon the people of knowledge. Al-wala wal-bara الولاء, we make, him the wali, whether with him, we with him, or al-bara. He's saying it's not that. Nu'adi, we don't make them the cause to be a enmity and animosity. The Sheikh said that we find other people who are not from al-Islam, for an example. These people have al-wala wal-bara based upon the people of knowledge. He said everybody can get it right and everyone can get it wrong. And the ijtihad, the efforts of these scholars, may be right, may be wrong. So you can't have this type of position where you befriend people, you love people for them, or you hate people because of the scholars. He said, so that's one extreme, that a person, based upon the scholar, he'll love you or hate you based upon how you look at that scholar. He said, that's an extreme. He said, another extreme are the people who have a tasahul. They don't care anything about the scholars. They don't respect anything about the scholars. He said, both of those are extremes.
وفي تعاملنا مع الحكام المسلمين بارك الله فيكم أمرنا الله جل وعلا بطاعتهم في المعروف. قال سبحانه وتعالى: وأطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم. في ماذا؟ في المعروف، لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. وفي هذا المجال أهل السنة وسط بين الغلاة والجفاة. أما الغلاة يريدون منا أن نطيعهم في كل شيء، وأما الجفاة يريدون منا أن نعصيهم في كل شيء وأن نخرج عليهم. لا، أهل السنة لا يصدقونهم بكذبهم ولا يعينونهم على ظلمهم، بل يتقيدون بالطاعة في المعروف فحسب، ولا يحدثون ضجة ولا فتنة ولا يتسببون في سفك الدماء وزحزحة الأمن في ما بين المسلمين.
The Shaykh went on to give another example about people of the Sunnah in the middle with the hukam, the leaders of the Muslims. And that's because Allah Azza wa Jalla, He was the one who ordered everybody to be in the middle with the hukam of Islam. That's an amr from Allah. That we obey them in what the Shaykh called ma'ruf, and what they tell you to do that's correct. The Prophet says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that you don't obey any of the creation when it entails disobedience to Allah. It's only in ma'ruf. Allah mentioned in the Quran when He said, obey Allah and His Messenger and the ulul amr minkum. Obey the leaders and people in authority over you. That's what Allah told us to do. So obey them in anything? He said no. We obey them in ma'ruf when they tell us to do the right thing. There is no obedience when it is in disobedience to the Khaliq Allah Azza wa Jalla. So we have two extremes in this issue with the hukam. One extreme are the ghulat, and the other extreme are the difat. The ghulat are those people who are extremists, who they disobey. They want us to disobey the leader in everything he tells us to do. And the difat are those people who they want us to obey the leaders in everything that they say. The Shaykh said, no, both of those extremes. You can't obey them in everything that they say, nor can you disagree with them and disobey them in everything that they say. Some people from the Quran, they want us to make khuruj and renegade against the leaders. He said, this is extreme. This is not acceptable. He said, but instead what we do with those who can is we do what Allah ordered us to do. We nataqayyid them. We have quyud. We obey them when they tell us what to do. That's from the religion. It's not in disobedience to Allah. So we don't make safkud dima. We don't spill the blood. We're not the cause of the stability of the Muslims being compromised. We obey them in what Allah told us, and that is with ma'ruf, and this is the middle path, away from the two extremes.
أما في التعامل مع آحاد الناس، في التعامل مع أخطائهم واجتهاداتهم التي نظن أنهم جانبوا الصواب فيها، وفي التعامل مع زلاتهم سواء كانوا من عوام المسلمين أو من دعاة أهل الإسلام، كيف نتعامل مع هذه الأخطاء؟ كذلك نلزم الوسطية، لا إفراط ولا تفريط. بعض أهل الفرق الإسلامية إذا رأوا شخصا وقع في معصية أو في مخالفة، بعضهم يحكم عليه بالكفر، قالوا وقع في كفر إذن هو كافر، وبعضهم يقول هو وقع في بدعة إذن هو مبتدع، وبناء على تكفيره أو تبديعه يقوم بمعاداته ويقوم بنفيه ويقوم بمحوه ويقوم بالتشهير بسمعته، وكذلك لا يتورع في غيبته وفي معاداته بشتى الوسائل. أما أهل السنة لا يتعاملون هكذا مع أخطاء الناس. إن رأوا شخصا وقع في كفر يقولون فعله كفر، أما هو لا نكفره إلا بعد إقامة الحجة وإزالة الشبهة، إلا بعد توفر الشروط وانتفاء الموانع. وليس كل من وقع في الكفر وقع الكفر عليه، ولا كل من وقع في البدعة وقعت البدعة عليه.
Sheikh, you want to mention, Ikhwani, we come to the other issue that I mentioned, and that is, how do we deal with just the regular people in society? The regular people, some of the people, they make mistakes that we're dealing with. They have their efforts, they ijtihad out. The person has his efforts. And he may come to a conclusion that your opinion is the wrong conclusion. He janib as-sawab. Janib as-sawab, he wasn't right. He's on one side, the truth is on the other side. He said, how do we deal with this type of person? He said, we deal with this individual the same way we deal with everything that we mentioned, with al-wasatiyya, being in the middle. When we look at the people of Islam, the Sheikh called them the Ahlu, the firq of al-Islam, the different Islamic groups. You'll find the different Islamic groups, if they see someone from the Muslims who makes a mistake, he's in the mukhalafa, he did something that is not right, not what that person feels is the right way. So the person says, okay, he fell into kufr. So he's going to judge and call him a kafir, because when he made a mistake in, he said he made a mistake in something that's kufr, he is a kafir. He said another person sees someone makes a mistake and he says he fell into an innovation, bid'ah. So now as a result of that, he is a mubtadi'. And now that he's been judged to be a mubtadi', the person has idawah, he has enmity towards him, animosity towards him. Nephew who doesn't want to deal with him, and he makes tashhir of the sum'ah. He'll start to talk bad about his reputation, because he sees him as being an innovator. The Sheikh said, this is not the right way. People use all kinds of wasa'il, all kinds of means and ways to attack people. Ghiba, everything becomes okay because he sees this person as being someone who made a mistake. We went on to mention this is not the right way of looking at things. He said the people of the Sunnah, they're in the middle. That person may have done an action that's kufr, but he doesn't become a kafir. There's something that made it kufr, but we don't say that he's a kafir. We don't say that he's a kafir until we establish the hujjah, that the real against what he did. We made him understand it. We let him know that this thing, before we judge him as being a kafir, there has to be conditions. Tawafar al-shurut. Conditions have to be there. And there has to be the mawani' have to be absent. The Sheikh said if those conditions are there and those preventive issues are not there, then you rule with what's appropriate. But everyone who falls into an innovation is not a mubtadi'. And everyone who falls into kufr is not a kafir.
مجال آخر من مجالات وسطية أهل الإسلام عموما وأهل السنة خصوصا مجال النساء ومجال الجنس. أما أهل الكفر والإلحاد فقد أباحوا التمتع بالنساء بلا قيد ولا شرط ولا حشمة ولا حياء ولا حل ولا حرام، فأباحوا لكل واحد كثرة الخليلات، ولكنهم حرموا ومنعوا ماذا؟ تعدد الحليلات بشرع الله جل وعلا. والله سبحانه وتعالى قال: فانكحوا ما طاب لكم من النساء. وكذلك قال سبحانه وتعالى: والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون إلا على أزواجهم أو ما ملكت أيمانهم فإنهم غير ملومين، فمن ابتغى وراء ذلك فأولئك هم العادون. فالله جل وعلا أباح لنا الزواج ولم يحرمه علينا، وقد أنكر النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام على من قال: أنا لا أتزوج النساء. فلا هذا المذهب الذي يحرم الزواج بحجة أنه يتفرغ للآخرة، ولا ذاك المذهب الإلحادي الذي أباح الخليلات.
It's another thing that I want to mention to you concerning the extremism that people go to and the middle path of the people of Islam, generally speaking, and the people of the Sunnah specifically, is another very important issue, and that is the issue of sex and jinns, sex and women. This is something that people go to the extremes in, and the people of Islam, Amuni, and the people of the Sunnah, Khasa, they're in the middle. He said, for an example, we find that there are those people who, when it comes to women, they allow you to have as many girlfriends as you want to have, with no conditions, with no system, no hishma, whatever you want, you just do it, however, whenever, with whoever. So they have what the Sheikh called kathrat khalilat, girlfriends who are connected to those men. And then the people who do this at the same time, while doing this wholesale with women, all kind of women from all over the place, he said, they turn around and they say it's haram to marry multiple women with a ta'addud, like in Islam. Where instead of doing what they do, kathratul khalilat, a lot of girlfriends, they don't want people to have 3 or 4 khalilat, women who are permissible. Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, marry those women who are pleasing to you. Marry those women, you men, who are pleasing to you. The good women, the religious women. Another ayah Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, describing the believers. And the believers, the Ibadur Rahman, they're those people who they protect their private parts, except with their wives and what their right hands possess. And anyone who goes after what is other than your wife and your right hand possession, then those people are the adun, they went overboard. The Sheikh says, so now with this issue, we as Muslims, we do the marriage in the way that it has been legislated. As for the people who make everything halal, we're not those people going to make a zawaj al-nikah, a zawaj haram on people. We're not going to do that. Because the Prophet himself, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, everyone knows that hadith about the companion who said, I'm never going to get married to women. He said that to do worship. I'm never going to be married, so I can focus. The Sheikh said that the Nabi of Islam, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, prevented that man from being upon that. So there's another one of the examples of the Wusطية of Islam.
طيب، وأقول الآن لماذا نلزم الوسطية؟ ما أهمية لزوم الوسطية في حياتك؟ أقول نلزم الوسطية في ديننا لأسباب. السبب الأول لكي ننجو من الانحراف والضلال والسبل التي تؤدي بنا إلى النار. هذا أول سبب. إلزم الوسطية لأن السبل الأخرى التي هي عن يمين الوسط وعن شمال الوسط كلها عليها شيطان يدعو إليه ويؤدي بصاحبه إلى النار.
Sheikh says, so Ikhwani, what is the importance to us? Like, why is it so important for us to be upon this moderation and this wasatiyah? Why is it important to us in our lives? There are many reasons. The first reason is so that we can be saved from going to the hellfire. So that we can be saved from the inhirafat, that people go off of the path and they fall into what is balala, they are astray, go to the hellfire. So we have this sabil, we have what is to the right of al-wasatiyya and the sabil. And we have what is to the left of that. Both of those are extreme. And anytime you find the path in the sabil of wasatiyya, all of the other subal, the Sheikh said, it has a shaitan on that path inviting people to it.
وكذلك نلزم الوسطية لكي نحافظ على جمال الإسلام ومحاسن الإسلام، وإلا فالغلاة والجفاة المتطرفون والمقصرون كلهم شوهوا جمال الإسلام وسمعة الإسلام. نعم.
Second thing, what's the importance of being in the middle? The first thing is you don't go to the hellfire. You don't be munharif. You don't be from the dalal. So the second reason from the asbab is when we're in the middle, we show the people the beauty of Islam. We live the beauty of Islam, the mahasin of Islam, the way the religion is. The jamal and the mahasin of Islam is shown and manifested when people are in the middle and balance. Where in contrast to that, the gulat and the jufat, people who are too rough, extremists, and people don't do enough, these people give a bad image of Islam. Extremists give a bad image of what Islam is, and people don't do enough, they give a bad image and a bad picture of what Islam is.
وسبب آخر لكي نسد الطريق على غلاة التكفير وغلاة التبديع بغير حق الذين أعطوا ذريعة وحجة لأعداء الإسلام للطعن في هذا الإسلام العظيم، ويقولون انظروا إلى حالكم، هذا هو الإسلام الذي يسفك الدماء بغير حق، هذا هو الإسلام الذي يتسبب في التفرقة فيما بين أنفسكم. فلزوم الوسطية يسد الطريق على الغلاة في التكفير وفي التفجير وفي التبديع وفي التفسيق والتضليل. بارك الله فيكم.
The Sheikh said the third reason behind what shows us the importance of being in the middle is that we will block and we will stop those people who are extremists. They go overboard when it comes to takfir. They pronounce excommunication upon people. He said, some of these people, they give the enemies of Islam a hujjah, a dalil. They give them the ability to dislike Islam and talk bad about Islam. When they look at the extremists, they say, look at these people. Look at all the blood that they're responsible for spilling. Look at these extremists over here. Their extremism has led to division even amongst themselves. Look how divided they are. So they give this bad picture to people about the beauty of Islam. So from the importance of the wasatiyah is to make the tasdeed, to make the sud, and to stop the people of takfir or from the ghulat from going overboard.
والآن ينبغي أن نعرف ما هي ثمار لزوم الوسطية. عرفنا ضرورة التمسك بالمنهج الوسط وأهمية لزوم الوسطية، والآن نسأل ما هي ثمار لزوم هذه الوسطية إضافة إلى ما ذكرنا. نقول أولا بارك الله فيكم رضا الله سبحانه وتعالى، والله سبحانه وتعالى لا يرضى إلا عن أهل الوسط والذين هم أهل الصراط المستقيم وأهل سنة سيد المرسلين عليه الصلاة والسلام وسبيل السلف الصالح.
Now we come to the last point. The next point is the thimar, the fruits and the benefits of wasatiyah. We talked about the importance of at-tamassuk and being on the middle. in the beginning, beyond the middle, talking about the importance of that. And then after that, he just finished with sharing some of the importance of what comes as a result of doing and being upon Wasatiyah. Now we come to the next one, inshallah, and that is, what is the fruits, the thimar, the benefits of Wasatiyah? The Shaykh said, number one is the pleasure of Allah. When you're in the middle, you're in the Wasatiyah. Because Allah is not pleased with anything but what's in the middle. And He is not pleased with extremism. He's pleased with the people who are in the middle. And as it has been explained already, the Sirat al-Mustaqim and the people of the Sirat al-Mustaqim that Allah praised, they are in the middle. So as a result of that, this is from the thimar, the rida of Allah. Allah is pleased with you.
الثمرة الثانية بارك الله فيكم انتشار الإسلام بكثرة. فالإسلام لا ينتشر مع الغلو والتطرف والعنف، لا ينتشر، وإنما ينتشر مع لزوم الوسطية والدعوة بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة.
The Shaykh said that number two from the benefits of Thimar is that Al-Islam was spread when people are practicing it and they're moderate and they're in the middle. Because Islam will not spread and it does not spread as a result of ghulu, extremism. It doesn't spread as a result of people being rough and tough in the wrong place, the wrong time. But Islam spreads, the Shaykh said, with ad-dawah with al-hikmah, with wisdom and with ease.
وكذلك من الثمار بارك الله فيكم استتابة الأمن والاستقرار في البلدان التي يعيش فيها المسلمون، وكذلك عدم وجود الفوضى والفتن بين الناس.
And number three, from the benefits is that we'll get peace and safety and aman and istiqrar, stability. Things are stable. They are stable in the countries and the lands where the Muslims live. And they'll be far away from fawda. Fawda is confusion, madness. But when you have a wasatiyah, things are, from the fruits of it is security and stability.
الثمرة الرابعة التعايش مع بعض بسلام، وهذا التعايش بسلام لصالح الإسلام والمسلمين يا أخوة. النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام لما عقد صلح الحديبية مع المشركين سماه الله جل وعلا فتحا كبيرا، سمى الله الصلح فتحا كبيرا. فهذا التعايش السلمي الذي يتأتى من خلال لزوم الوسطية من قبل المسلمين، هذا التعايش يثمر ماذا؟ يثمر فتحا عظيما لنشر الإسلام ولنشر السنة والإسلام الصحيح إن شاء الله.
Number four from the fruits and the benefits of the Wasatiyah is that when we are practicing Islam in a moderate way and we're in the middle of Wasatiyah, it gives peace between us ourselves. We're able to live with each other with peace. Things become peaceful, livable, manageable. And all you have to do is look at what happened in the Sulh of Al-Hudaybiyah during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the agreement of Al-Hudaybiyah between Rasulullah and the Kuffar Quraysh. The Shaykh said, this Sulh, this contract, Allah called it in the Quran, Fathan Mubina. Allah called this contract, this agreement, He called it a clear victory, an amazing victory. And it was an agreement. The Sheikh said, as a result of this middle path, there's positivity that comes. And then Al-Islam can spread, and the Sunnah spreads with people holding on to Al-Wasatiyah. This is from the Thimar and the fruits of it.
وما هي موانع لزوم الوسطية؟ هناك موانع يا أخوة. إن وجد مانع واحد في الشخص يمنعه من لزوم الوسطية، الوسطية التي تؤدي به إلى الجنة وإلى مرضاة الله. المانع الأول الجهل. الجاهل لا يلزم الوسطية، لأن لزوم الوسطية يتطلب العلم بالكتاب والسنة، والجاهل ما عنده علم. لذا أغلب المتطرفين والمتشددين هم الجهلة، وهم الذين جانبوا الوسطية.
We're going to go to another point right now, and this is going to talk about one of those things that prevent people from being in the middle. There are things that are from the Mawani that prevent you from being in the middle. He said the very first one is ignorance, to be a jahil. Because if you're ignorant, it's not possible to be in the middle, to be balanced. It requires that you have knowledge how to do it. What is the middle? You have to know about the kitab. You have to know about the sunnah. He said, and this is why you find that the majority of the people are extremists. They don't have knowledge. They're ignorant people.
وخير دليل على هذا يا إخوة الخوارج الغلاة الذين سفكوا دماء الصحابة رضوان الله عليهم.
Those people, blood of the companions, رضوان عليهم أجمعين. They were responsible for spilling the blood of the companions. How did the Prophet describe the Khawarij sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? He said that the Khawarij was Sufahal Ahlam, Hudathal Aslam. They are people who have ideas that are Sufaha, ideas of the foolish. Their ideas how they think are foolish. And they are young. That was their description. They have no ilm, they have no hikmah, they have no tajribah, no experience, no wisdom, no knowledge. The Sheikh says, so ya akhi, akhi. The Sheikh said, try to learn the kitab, try to learn the sunnah, so that you'll save yourself from destruction and being away from
التعصب يا إخوة، التعصب داء قاتل، سواء تعصبت لمذهب أو تعصبت لشيخ أو لعالم أو لبلد. التعصب مذموم. المسلم لا يتعصب وإنما يتبع الدليل. لذا نجد بعض الناس يتعصبون لطريقة معينة أو لمذهب معين أو لشيخ معين.
Second thing that will prevent you from being in the middle is a ta'assub. A ta'assub is when you're fanatical about your position or your opinion. He described it as a disease that will kill you. It'll kill you when you're one of those fanatical people. You'll find some people are fanatical to their madhab. Others are fanatical to their sheikh. Some are fanatical to this guy over here. Some of them are fanatical to the country, to a country. You find people who learn fanaticism. He said whatever people are being fanatical towards and in, he said it's mazmoon. It is not a good thing. It's a bad thing. He went on to say that the people of Islam, the people of the Sunnah, are not people who have a ta'assub. They are people who follow the dalil. They make the tiba the dalil. So don't be of those people. Like I said, the ones who go on a tariqah, they're a particular way, and that's the only way. Another group only their madhab, another group only their sheikh. And when that happens, when people are like this ta'assub, what do? Their fanaticism makes them pronounce takfir on people, excommunicate. They make people and they say that the person is an innovator, and they're not really innovators because of his ta'assub. They'll say this person is astray from the Bali because of his ta'assub. He's not really astray. They'll say this man is a fasiq because of ta'assub. So the Shaykh gave advice and he said to you, khallis nafsik ya akhi. He said, hey, to you individually, free yourself from being a person who has this fanaticism to whatever, for whatever.
المانع الثالث يا إخوة الغلو مانع كبير من الاعتدال والإنصاف والوسطية. والنبي عليه الصلاة والسلام قال هلك المتنطعون، وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام إياكم والغلو فإنما أهلك من كان قبلكم الغلو. وقد قال تعالى جل جلاله لا تغلوا في دينكم، فبارك الله فيكم إياكم والغلو، وتحلوا كما قلنا بالإنصاف والاعتدال لكي لا نجانب الصواب ولا نجانب الوسطية، والله أعلم.
Sheikh said lastly, the third one is what will prevent you from the millennium, what prevents you from being in the middle is having al-ghulu, being an extremist. Al-ta'assub is, in English, al-ta'assub is fanaticism. You're fanatical. But ghulu, it means you're an extremist. You're an extremist. He says, so that will prevent you from being in the middle. He gave some examples from what we have in the Quran and the Sunnah. The Prophet ﷺ said, the mutanatti'un have been destroyed. Halak al-mutanatti'un, those people dig too deep. They go too overboard. Another hadith, he said to the people, beware of al-ghulub. For verily the people before you were destroyed by al-ghulub, extremism. Allah said in the Quran, and don't be extreme in your religion. Don't be extreme in your religion. Another statement is the command, beware of being from the extremists. He went on to advise you again, he said, so wear the nice clothes and adorn yourself. Adorn yourself with moderation and avoid al-ghulu so that you don't make the mujanab of the haqq. You're not on one side and the haqq is on another side. He said, don't be a person of al-ghulu.
بقي النصيحة الأخيرة، ما الذي يساعدنا على لزوم الوسطية؟
Last point, and the question for the last point is going to be addressed. What can help us to be in this middle? What are some of the things that will help us?
أولا لزوم الكتاب والسنة، قال الله جل وعلا وأطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول. ثانيا لزوم منهج السلف الصالح، لقوله سبحانه وتعالى والسابقون الأولون من المهاجرين والأنصار والذين اتبعوهم بإحسان ماذا؟ رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه والذين اتبعوهم بإحسان. إذن أولا تلزم الكتاب والسنة، ثانيا تلزم سبيل السلف الصالح، ثالثا تطيع العلماء في المعروف تلزم غرزهم، ورابعا تطيع في المعروف، وخامسا تتحلى بحسن الخلق وأنت تجد نفسك على الخط الوسط المؤدي بك إلى رضوان الله وجنته. طاعة الحكام في المعروف.
So from what can help us to have the middle path, first of all, is that we hold on to the book of Allah and the authentic Sunnah Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah said in the Quran, obey Allah and obey His Messenger. Number two is you have to hold on to the minhaj of the Salaf al-Salih, the righteous predecessors, the way they were. You be on their way, their minhaj. You want a wasatiyah, then be on their way. Thirdly is to listen to and to obey the ulama in ma'ruf when they get it right. Listen to the ulama. Number four, listen to and obey the hukam of the Muslims, those who are put in a position of leadership over you, in ma'ruf when they tell you to do the right thing. And fifth and finally, have good akhlaq, husnul khuluq. You, while you're traveling on the path, you're on the khut, then beautify your character. Beautify your character while you're on that way, and you're following what has been mentioned already, and inshallah all of these things will be a help for you to be on the right path.
جعلني الله وإياكم من أهل الوسطية، من أهل الصراط المستقيم، وحشرنا وإياكم مع الذين أنعم الله عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين، وجزاكم الله خير الجزاء، وجزى الله الشيخ خير الجزاء، قد تعب معنا. ونسأل الله أن يتقبل منا. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
So the Sheikh made a dua for everybody here, and he asked Allah to make us all of the people of the middle. And he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well to make us of those people who are the Sirat al-Mustaqim, those people who His in'am is on them, gave them the ni'mah, the favor upon them. And who are they? As he mentioned, the Nabiyyin, the Siddiqeen, and the Shuhada, and the Salihin. And he also asked Allah to Yahshurullah, to raise us up, the day that we meet Him, and we meet those people. And he also asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward everybody here for your efforts. When I'm with Dobby now, we wanted to take this opportunity to also thank the Sheikh for coming to deliver this timely discussion that is important. And we also want to thank Yusuf Abdul-Bad. He's a brother I know from Huddersfield. And he used to talk to me before about the Sheikh, before I met him. And I read a book that he wrote before. And when I read that book, I was haris on meeting him. Yusuf called me and said, "Can the Sheikh come to your masjid?" I said, "Yeah, come Friday." And I was talking about Leeds. He said, "No, he made this place." We said, "Set it up." And the masjid here, they were all for it. And what was the goal and the objective? To continue to introduce and expose the community to knowledge, correct knowledge. So we want to thank the Sheikh for his participation. We thank all of you brothers. And with that, we ask Allah to make all of us of those people truth in the word and deed. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
بارك الله فيك يا شيخ، جزاك الله خير. حفظك الله. حفظك.
ما عندك ما عندك
تعال فينا، نحن في مسجد آخر. نعم.
سبحان الله.
جزاك الله.
ما هو اللي يعني برنامجكم الآن؟
والله مع أخينا يوسف مسافر.
هذا كانت ملكك.
لا.
وين الثاني؟
هذا ابني. كذلك.